Francesca? It's on the stage.
Yes. Are we meant to present from our chairs, or are we meant to stand up?
Stand up. Stand up. It's a small
I really
stage.
think that is going to be hard for people to watch the screen.
Okay, let's give it a try and then we'll figure it out.
Yeah, well, the slides up here are also down here.
No. For the speaker, I think that's good. I think for the co-panelists to be seated at a table or over there would just make it so much easier.
Okay.
And not have to be for the audience to pay attention to the speaker instead of the other people.
Okay, let's give it a try this way, and if it's extremely uncomfortable for you, you can
Yeah.
certainly step down and watch the slides from another position. Let's start from the beginning, so we're kind of jumping down. Okay.
Another mundane question. So my computer,
Yes.
with my, is going to be hooked up there?
Your slides are already loaded.
My
Everything's
slides,
set.
okay.
I think they have your slides
Sent your
set.
slides, so they're all loaded, so
And
they're
who's
all...
clicking?
So we have a clicker?
Yes,
Am I
yes.
clicking?
Yeah.
yes.
We're going to...
You won't have any.
Okay. So Francesca, can we start...
It's a pin off and all the phones are there. Because typically the phones are out.
Francesca, where will we be seated before the session? This table right here. Yeah, I think you want to start from where we're going to be seated so that we can just make sure that we all have that priority for that. Okay.
Okay, you're live, okay, Robert?
Yes, I am. Now, right now, we have Murray's talk track in the monitors. When he's finished, can we put the slides in the monitors?
No, not in these back monitors.
So it's only here?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, actually, no, they just did it.
We're also going to feed you, oh,
Oh, that's great. If you can do that, that would be great.
okay.
So they can switch the feeds. So Jane, to answer your question, if you look around, there are screens all around the room that will have the pictures. It won't be the case for Murray, but it will be the case for the other sessions. For Murray's talk, you'll be here, so you'll be able to see the big screen.
And then in the end, we'll feed your questions from the audience
Yes.
onto these screens as well.
Great. Okay, great. So this is Decoding Design. We have a hashtag, which is Designing Innovation. Please send your questions. Is it through Twitter, Francesca? The hashtag Designing Innovation? So on Twitter. Okay. So address your Twitter questions. If you're watching this on the internet, use Twitter to send us questions with the hashtag Designing Innovation. Our first speaker is Murray Collum. And is it Maury or Murray? Murray. Murray Collum, who is the VP of Design for Ford. So then you'll come up on stage.
Yeah.
Does he need the clicker?
Does not need a clicker.
So clicker will be here.
Thank you, Richard.
Robert.
Robert, sir.
Thank you. All right. This is the time to do that. This is the time to do the mistakes. It's fine.
Good afternoon. You know, I'm often asked, what does a car designer really do? Do I really get to draw cars all day and get paid for it? Or are you some sort of engineer? Computers are designed on cars. Computers design cars, don't they? One of the designers in the team has this on the wall in his office, and quite frankly, it shows my dilemma. The truth is, although designers still work with sketches, clay and computer models, the really important medium of the designer is behavior. We're constantly observing how customers behave and what people's aspirations are, and coding that into our designs to improve the way consumers interact with our creations. When we design a car, we don't just look at aesthetics. We need to shape the experience for the user. We need to design their impression, how they'll interpret it, how they feel about it, make it clear what they can do with it, and hopefully how it will improve their daily lives. All this information is coded into the design. We determine how people will look at it and assess our products at different stages. And then the consumer subliminally decodes it. That's if we've done our job right. And it doesn't happen just once in time. It happens at different stages in different ways. That's why it's not just about designing a specific product, but rather about designing the entire journey, a very emotional one, orchestrated around the consumer. In a sequential timeline, let's take a look at a few of the main scenes. A person's first read in the car happens from a distance. Proportions, stance, silhouette all communicate the character of the car. A Mustang has a low stance, powerful hood, fast profile, code for performance. An F-150 has a strong, bold, purposely built structure, code for tough, code for truck. A Fusion has an innovative silhouette that differentiates from the usual three-box sedans, while it's still communicating its character in a very clear way. Code for a sedan, but you know what? It might be fun to drive. So as you get closer, the design starts to communicate the brand attributes. Unmistakably Mustang for Mustang. In the case of the F-150, built Ford tough, the Fusion, the face of Ford. Once you're close enough to touch the vehicle, it's all about the details, the craftsmanship, the fit and finish, the materials, the refined surface language, the details on the windows, the grille, the gaps, the finishes, the touch and feel of the door handle. It's all about the message that these elements give out that allow the customer to perceive the quality of the product. Now the exterior design has set an expectation. And quite frankly, if you haven't got this part right, the customer may not be interested in the next phase, the interior. This has to deliver and complement the prior experiences. The journey continues as you pull that handle and open the door. Like the exterior, you're either seduced or not. This is not a rational moment. It's all about creating an emotional connection. We have a split second to get that first impression right. People need to feel instantly, see and feel what the brand delivers. We do that through shapes, materials, colors, the volume distribution of the interior. The second need in the interior is a personal one. We call it fit. Does the car fit me? Can I fit my stuff? Will I be comfortable with these surroundings? Codes are established that you get engaged as you fit in the vehicle. And then there's stuff. Where do I put my coffee? Where do I put my purse? How do I connect my network and my content? Now we finally get to the third stage, start. Probably our biggest differentiator from other products and product design. Now we actually get to go somewhere. The first experience is a tactile one. Push the button, wheel shifter, and all communicate the character. The interaction with the controls gives the drive feeling, but there is more. The cinematic effect of it all coming to life as well. The car is establishing a dialogue. The way relevant information is orchestrated enhances the driver experience, or completely confuses it if we don't get it right. We need to make sure all these pieces are coming together in something easy to interpret. The amount of information technology that we expect the consumer to know and understand is the area that has changed the most in the history of car design, and it's accelerating quickly. If you look back at the first Model T, although a little complicated to start, once you're moving, you only had the driving to concentrate on. Since then, many features have been added and coded into design of vehicles. And when I say many, I mean a lot of features. Really, lots of features. And if you think, if anyone should know what all these symbols mean, it would be me. Well, guess what? Sorry, I have no idea. So anyway, in fact, when you take a closer look at these symbols and realize some still need work, like, for example, what does this mean? Does it mean put your car in a washing machine? Or next one, I just stopped at Target and I'm on my way home. Next one, is this just for adult gas only? The point is we want to give the consumer all the latest technologies that enhance the driving experience, but if it becomes overwhelming and a distraction, we have failed. Getting the balance right is getting the experience right. It's an ongoing process. New technologies mean new rules and new opportunities. Not tech for tech's sake, but a better experience. And today, of course, we need to take into account of not just the product we're working on, but the broader system it will be part of. Take this New York taxi driver, for example. And I'm not sure if you can see this, but there's 6 screens in his car, each of them critical for him to get his job done. The challenge becomes how do we code design so a vehicle's behavior is modified to whatever you want, when you want it, when you need it. We do our job best when you enjoy that technology without knowing the back end. All you interact with is a pleasant and effective interface. All you need to consider is how does it allow me to be a better dad, husband, coach, boss, taxi driver, and stay in control of my life. It's the same rules as before, but much more info is code into the designs. And there's much more of an emotional journey that happens when you want to drive the car. It will be a completely different journey when you approach a car that you don't want to drive, but instead it wants to drive you. But the principles will be exactly the same. It will still be about coding the entire journey and pushing ourselves to do better with every design. The goal of appealing to the heart and mind of customers, but also coding of a little sense of wonder that makes people smile, even when they can't explain why. Okay, great. Thank you. And now with that, I'd like to introduce Gary. And you want your second name, or what's your second name? Can I say it? Yeah. And you want me to sit down?
Yes.
All the arrangement,
So if you'd like, I can introduce
I
Gotti.
was just thinking, see, the screen would be better me sitting over here.
If you'd like, I can do the introduction for
Okay.
Gotti. It's up to you.
Okay.
Now, Gotti, let's test your slides to make sure they're good. You don't necessarily have to rehearse every word
Sure.
of your thing if you want. If you want to, you can. You certainly can. This is the time.
it's a clicker,
Yes.
and that's usually, okay, got it. Okay. We mix,
might-
what?
Yeah. Okay. So,
I'm gonna explain a little bit what we do. at the
yeah, that's
middle
fine.
and
Don't feel obligated to run through every word of your talk, but this is
So-
a chance for you to make sure that everything's running to your satisfaction.
Okay.
And modularity, I see, is a big part of your talk, right?
In this case, in our phone, how do I go back, by the way? Go back. One more. Supposed to be a video. Let's see if I could click this. This is, okay, yeah, it does work. It does work, okay. All right.
Why don't you take it from the top and make sure, what I think happened is you clicked too soon,
Yep.
and it maybe takes a second for the video to
Yeah,
play.
so,
Can we take it back to the top? Thanks.
Yeah. okay, so I probably need to hold for us. All right. Okay,
Great.
it's good.
How close is this to reality?
This
so
is
cool.
very, actually, today, they should be in Google I/O showing some
Oh, really?
progress and all
Oh,
that,
wow, that's
and
great.
it's gonna be.
This is the one thing they
Great.
took from Motorola. The one thing they kept is this project.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Because of that model, actually.
It's amazing. I think it's really cool.
Okay, that's
thanks.
okay, good. Okay, I'm just gonna go through this and walk through the story of Aura. And yes, I do. You sure you want to borrow that? That's a cell phone you don't want to borrow. So this is a little bit talking about a gesture. Okay, there's a little hiccup. Oops, go back a second. There is a delay, so I need to.
Oh, so you have a back button now.
Yeah, no, I know.
Magically, they gave you one with the back button. So here's a video. I thought this was a really cool video.
That's beautiful.
It's all the things that go
The
inside.
exploded version.
You cannot do that with a car, too many parts.
No, there's an exploded Model T at the Henry Ford Museum.
Yeah.
You'll love it, man. You've got
few
that.
less
Not
parts
with the
we use today, though.
360.
Oh yeah, no, they don't have that. But you can walk around it, so you can get the 360 effect.
So that's a little UI story. There is a little bit of extra white space on the screen. I wonder if we could set it to be just black. The screen is just a teeny bit, if you see. You see,
The white band at the edge.
there's some mismatch of, yeah. So if we just fill it with black, if there's, okay.
You can just change the background to black in Keynote.
Yeah, that's
That's better.
perfect, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, great.
So here I'm probably gonna
Oh, that's
breeze
nice.
through these, a lot of issues with wearables that are,
Great photo. They're great photos.
David.
okay, it works. How many minutes do I have?
It's 8 minutes.
Okay.
That's the guidance we've been given, 8 minutes.
How long was I?
Great.
Right.
Okay, so have a seat. Thank you, Gotti.
And our next presenter will be Jane McGonigal. She's the author of Reality is Broken.
Thanks. So do I have to advance to my first slide? Is that how it works? Yeah. Okay, doesn't matter. I'm just going to click through my slides to see if they look okay. And I will talk a little bit while I do it so that they can check my audio levels.
Do you have video at all?
I do have a video. There's no audio, and I'll just talk over it while it plays.
Let's make sure that works. All right.
They're great images.
Yeah, we love the gamer faces. And this would be the video, which looks like it plays fine. We'll let it play all the way through.
This is cool. What is going on in this video?
This is your brain on games.
Oh, cool.
And
So it just shows different parts of the brain lighting up.
exactly.
What's the hot and cold color?
Just a little bit of activity versus, so it's, if there's any blood flow, you see a color. And if it's a cool color, it's not very much blood flow. And
Oh, I
if it's
see.
a hot
Oh,
color,
so
it's
you
a
can
lot of
actually
blood flow.
pinpoint the areas that are being stimulated. Oh, that's
Like a
pretty
heat
cool.
map or something.
Yeah. So playing a game versus watching a game, it's a pretty interesting difference, these two comparisons here.
Cool.
And that is it.
Great. Okay, great. Thanks.
So I'll say thank you very much, and I'll put this down and sit.
That would be great. I'd appreciate it if you would. Thanks. Okay, so I'm Robert Tercek, and I will do, I'll go through my slides. At this point, I could probably also remind people to start texting questions, sending questions in if I remember to do it. Otherwise, I'll do it at the end of my talk. You can see it okay, right? All right. Right, this is where I speculate about the future of the car.
Yes,
So
okay.
forgive me for doing
We're all
this.
doing
Yeah.
it, don't worry.
But it's transportation as a service, right, and a robotic car service. Okay, so then I'll end with this idea that great marketing experiences today can happen at this intersection. This is an opportunity for marketers to design experiences that are hybrid, that go between the real world and the virtual world. And then at that point, I'll sit down and open it up for discussion. And, oh, that's great. So, oh, okay, that's fine, because that'll remind me to call to people to send in their questions on Twitter. Thanks, that's perfect. Let's do that. Thanks for that. But I wanted to show you these. So this is actually the thing I was driving towards all morning is these words. Now, I don't have anything scripted here. This is meant to be a conversation.
We respond.
But the reason I want to do this is that if you've noticed nowadays, people in live audiences, and particularly people at home, they're not always watching the video, right? No. So, and they're not even watching the live thing in front of them. They're texting, they're tweeting, they're doing everything. And so I thought it'd be helpful to have some just anchor words behind us on screen, and also for the people who are watching, and particularly who are watching on the internet. And so this word, emotion, obviously I've combined the two words, emotion and motion. I thought it was appropriate for automotive. In particular, I know that you have many of these concepts in your talks. I'll probably direct a question to you first, but it's meant to be a conversation. And I like a talk show format where people have a conversation with each other. You can respond to each other. I don't mind if you interrupt each other politely. If an answer goes on very long, forgive me, but I might interrupt just to redirect to somebody else just to keep it moving. And then at some point, Francesca, I'm going to ask you to tell me about questions from the audience. If I forget, perfect. Okay, that's great. And we'll always have these here in the confidence monitor so we can see what's behind us.
So the questions will just come up in the teleprompter.
Okay. That's great.
Sure.
Okay, that's great. Thanks. All right. So this concept was about the parts of design that we're aware of, and then the parts that I think we're unconscious about. I think quite a lot of design touches unconscious parts, and I know you and I had that conversation about truck drivers. Magic to me is about anticipating user needs So I'll probably have a question here. And Gadi, I was kind of thinking I might direct a question to you there about anticipation.
Delight.
Delight, surprise, exactly. These experiences that we have, good design feels like magic to people because they can't imagine how the designer actually thought of it. This concept of the content and container, I use this to talk about narrative. Particularly in media today, what's happening is that the media industry is starting to, they're really challenged because our business model used to be, yeah, that's fine, thanks. Our business model used to be that we sold discs or we sold tapes, and of course that business is rapidly coming to an end, and the content has been kind of freed from its container. But there's also an element of that in a car as well. So this can resonate quite a lot, certainly with the wearable computers. I know the games you design, they're not contained in any traditional sense, but I think that's also something you'll be able to speak to as well. This idea that the experience is separated from the physical good that you bought in order to get the experience.
It's interesting. I think there's a kind of a reverse trend towards the container back.
Fabulous.
So
Please go there then. That would be great. And then, of course, Murray, you can refer to that as well. One more. So brand interaction concept that's been beaten around by marketers for the last decade, I think becoming kind of a cliche, as they try to figure out how we can do brand engagement, drive more deeper engagement with the brand. But for me, what's interesting is this idea of brand in action. And again, I think there's an automotive element to that we can certainly speak to, but I think with wearables, that's a big direction that we're heading, is that it's computers that do something with you, or computers that respond to your behavior. And again, the game experience.
So you're saying in action as opposed to no action, in action?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, no, sorry, that's really very, but actually,
I was thinking of in action, what's
go
the
for
plan?
it. No, but that's great. That's the whole point. Play with the words. That's great.
Okay.
That's super. If time permits, we can go a little bit further. I don't think it will, because I think we'll probably be into questions from the floor. But I have a couple of backup pictures as well. So memory, to me, is about the idea that our devices can learn from us, but also it's about the expectations we have when we sit down. Particularly, I was thinking of a car. When you sit down at a car, you have kind of already practiced or rehearsed the experience of driving a car, and the designers need to anticipate those memories and respond to them. And the challenge is, how do you reprogram people's behavior?
Well, I was actually reading this, I mean, I was seeing this in a different way, in that,
Great.
people have memories of cars.
Yeah, but that's also true.
And will
Yeah.
still have memories of cars in the future.
Yes,
Things,
yes,
yeah.
very good. Okay, so that's a great way to handle it, though.
Yeah.
It's like, this is all subject to interpretation. I don't have a script here. Great. And then connection. So this is important, but it's frankly less important than some of the other concepts, so I put it later. But we might get to it. And so those are those things. I'll show them one more time just so you can remember. And one more. So emotion, seen and unseen, magic, anticipation, the content and the container, brand in action, brand in action. Very clever, very clever.
It wasn't clever, it was subliminal.
Memory and connection. And then at the end, so we'll have questions from the floor, but then at some point I will need to wrap up. How will I know when the session is over? Should I look at my watch? Yeah, you'll be, okay, fine. You'll get the hook out and pull us off the stage. Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Something in red. Yeah.
Roll up a nice little piece wrap.
That sounds great. Okay. Good.
Or do you want to do a last question maybe, or something, just as?
We'll probably do that, yeah. We'll probably call for one last question. I think that's a great idea. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, the questions from the floor, can you show us what those might look like? Oh, no, I'm sorry. I mean the ones from Twitter. I just want to see how
Is
readable
there any
those are.
already happening?
That's a
That's a teleprompter. Oh, the questions will be in the... But they'll be like that. They'll be like the teleprompter. Oh, yeah, that's very readable. Okay.
And are we saying who the questions are from, or are we quoting?
Ideally, yeah.
Okay. All right.
hashtag, 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 hashtag.
Okay, great. So that works for me. Everyone okay with being able to read those?
I'm sure there are a few of them.
Wondering how many people are called hashtag now.
Yeah.
Does this format work for everybody? There's any
You okay with
questions
this?
or anything? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So then that'll be it. In 2:30, we're done.
Yep.
Show's over. Great.
Yep.
And it's off to the
Excellent.
airport. Thank you very much for doing the
Thank you.
rehearsal.
All right.
I appreciate it. And if there's any other things you want to tweak, now is a good time to do
I'll
that.
come back through the, what time do we have now? We're going to do the studio tour?
And your video worked to your
In the
satisfaction,
studio?
right there.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Which line? There's a, well, you tell me, you patched in, right? Okay, so you're getting line level signal right now. Is that where the camera is going, or is it separate? Right, but it's mic level is what the input is, correct? That's your problem. You've got your preamps or your press. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's coming to you at line level, not at mic level.
That's better. I'm still getting